Hey everyone, welcome back to All Things Art. Eric here, and welcome back to another installment of What's New, where each month we take a look at new files in the form of an STL of new characters that are released each month by different Patreon groups. Every month, different Patreon groups put out different character models in the form of an STL file, which is basically a file extension that a digital sculptor will save his file as. He'll save it as an STL, and then us at home can now take that file and print it on our 3D printers. So we're going to take a look at what new characters came out this month, but really quick, I just wanted to thank everyone that tuned in for last month's What's New. We had a giveaway by Opium Clay. It was a huge turnout, so thanks for everybody that tuned into that. Not only did we give away one welcome package, but we gave away 3 welcome packages just for the huge amount of people that tuned in for that episode. So thank you very much once again. So without further ado, let's take a look at what new characters came out this month. All right, so our first file to look at is something where we actually left off last month. We were looking at this Wolverine by SuperShark. At the time of the recording of last month, I had only had the gray scale renders. It was still a work in progress. Now we have the full photo gallery, which is really exciting because I'm really excited about this model, especially being Wolverine. I just watched the Deadpool versus Wolverine movie last night. It was absolutely amazing. I'm sure everybody probably has seen it by now. It's broken so many box office records, but anyway, yeah, even before the excitement of that movie, I was really excited about this file. So yeah, we have this grisly looking battle damaged Wolverine. Keep in mind, he also comes with a cleaner version, I believe. So if you didn't want like all the arrows and, you know, bullet holes and everything else going through him, there is a cleaner version. So here's just a black and white photo to give you some contrast of, you know, all of the details. He looks absolutely fantastic. I love the wolf. Here's a colored render of him with the X-Force, you know, variant suit if you decided to paint it that way. I think it looks really cool this way as well, but I do like the traditional yellow and blue better. So here's a look at the wolf. Again, these are just colored renders, so we're seeing like the blood effect on the wolf as well as on his suit. So here's the grayscale render. So now we get a little bit of a better look here. So gives you a little bit of a side profile so you can see how much space it's going to take up. I don't think it's that bad. I do like the pose. I like the addition of the wolf on the base. I think it looks really cool. Let's zoom in a little bit here if we can and see what's going on with the details. So again, really cool textures within the suit, you know, really cool like Kevlar design, as well as the metallic areas. Everything looks really good. I like the expression on his face. So really nicely sculpted. Again, this is by SuperShark. They're a new Patreon group, so they're just getting started. Definitely go check out their work. Here he is from behind, so you can get a better look at the details on the back of him, again with that side profile and the wolf. Everything's looking very cool. You got ninja stars, you got arrows. Here's another up close photo. So again, if you didn't want to have the arrows and like all the bullet holes on the suit, and if you wanted more of a cleaner look, I do believe there is a option for that. All right, let's scroll through these photos. Here's another side profile look at the suit. Again, the textures look absolutely amazing within the actual costume. Give you a nice up-close shot at that. The leather, the sculpt looks really fantastic. So really great job by the sculptors on this one. Got the ninja star and his shoulder blade there. Really nice expression on the face. Everything's looking good. Another shot from behind, so you can see more of that leather texture all over him, which looks really nice. I like the way the belt was sculpted. Here he is from another angle. Again, looking really good. All right, so I think, let's see. Yeah, there's an option. These look pretty much similar, but I believe the difference is the lip. There's a little bit of like a bite mark on his lip, a little bit of like a battle damage scar. So I'm assuming, like I said, I think there's a version to where you can even have the body without the battle damage. Otherwise, these two portraits look pretty similar to me, unless I'm missing something. I think it's just the difference in the lip. The expression looks the same and everything else looks the same. So I think that's what they're just pointing out, that there's a battle damage and a non-battle damage version, if that's what you wanted. Moving forward, another up-close look at that wolf, as well as the textures within his suit. Again, looks really good. Let's take an up-close shot at that wolf. The fur looks pretty good. You know, fur is not too easy to sculpt. I think they did a pretty good job, and once this is all painted up, it's going to look fantastic. Moving forward, we have another example of a side profile of the leather on the boots. You got the ninja stars in the base, as well as another look at the wolf. Another look at the base. I like the way the base is sculpted with the rocky terrain. Looks really cool. So they were also working on a Deadpool. So we have, again, a color render. Again, this is from SuperShark. So if you're interested in any of these models, go check out SuperShark on Patreon. But yeah, we have this version of Deadpool. Looks really cool looking. All the different like armor and old textured, not so much of a cape. I guess we would call it like almost like, yeah, I guess it's kind of a cape. It's like draped over him. I think it looks really cool though. So let's look through these photos because it's a lot of fun with all the different elements that they added to this. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on this one just really quick because I don't think I have a ton of photos of this one. So you have Deadpool. He's got like some type of like hazardous mask on his face. He's reaching for the, looks like maybe a katana, or it might be a blade or a gun. Yeah, it looks like a katana blade, but it has like a pipe handle. So it looks pretty cool. He's got the Deadpool grenades. He's got the pistol strapped to his leg there. Sorry, I forget the version of this character. There was a certain theme to him, which I slip in my mind right now. He's got the unicorn stuffed doll on the base. So let's move around. I like the snowy base. I always love snowy bases on statues. So I'm already liking this a lot so far. So let's move forward and see what other views we have of him. So looks like we have like a downed telephone pole off to the left there with the unicorn. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. So you have like that down telephone pole off to the side on the left. You have the unicorn stuffed doll. So a lot of fun little elements going on with the design of him. He's got that little, looks like a cute little bear face or maybe like a panda face. I'm not sure what that is on his right boot. But there's all these like silly different things on him. So let's move forward. Here's a look from this side. So again, you get to look at all those different textures within the suit and the armor that he's wearing. Looks really cool. Let me see if I have, looks like he has another unicorn. Oh, I think we just jumped ahead. Let me jump back real quick. I think he has like a, looks like another unicorn on his glove right there, which is pretty funny. Moving to the back of him, I love the way they designed the texture on this, I guess you could call it a robe. Sorry, I called that a cape in the beginning. It's a robe, I guess you would call it. So let's zoom into that real quick because I think that looks really great the way they sculpted that. So yeah, he's reaching for his katana blade, if that's what you want to call it. One of the handles is a pipe, and then the other handle is like another pipe with a wrench attached to it. Oh, just jump through all the photos, sorry. So let me zoom into this real quick. I want to take a look at those blades on his back. So as you can see, the left one is like a pipe, and then the other side is a wrench. So pretty cool. Look at his glove. He's got like all these different like pins stuck onto his glove. Hello Kitty, a star, was that Pikachu? It says F off. Toad from Super Mario Brothers. So it's pretty funny. I think I have, yeah, here we go. I have some grayscale renders so we can see this a little bit better. So again, he's on a snowy base. There's a look at that boot with the little animal on it with the silly face. Better look at those textures within the robe draped off of him. So really nicely sculpted. I am a fan of this one. Another look at that unicorn. Here's a nice size shot of that glove, so you can see like all the little, you know, Easter eggs and elements they threw into it. So really fun. All right, let's move forward. This one is by Opium Clay. Again, thanks to them for last month. They were the ones that did the giveaway of the STL welcome package. So this is going to be Titus, the Space Marine 2 from Warhammer 4000, actually 40,000, sorry. So this is just a work in progress, but I did want to feature what they have going on. So again, this is by OpiumClay Studios, available on their Patreon. So pretty cool. I think I have one more image of that. Yeah, so here's another image. Again, this is just a work in progress. So it looks like he has a few different options for the head, one with the helmet on it. So we'll stay tuned to this and follow it next month. We'll have more, pics to look at of this guy for next month. Also, Opium Clay was working on this character. This is Hawk from DC, and this is a sci-fi tech suit version of her. I'm not too familiar with this, but we'll take a quick look at it. Again, this is going to be another work in progress, and these are just the colored renders. But she looks pretty good in my opinion. I like all the textures within the suit and the design. Here's a little bit of a full figure look at her, and then we have another one. Oh, actually, here's the clay renders. So we get to see a little bit more of what's going on without all the paint in the way. So really nicely sculpted. I like the way the suit looks. Really nice design. And then we have this full figure clay render from behind. So we'll zoom into that a little bit. I don't want it to get too blurry, but everything's looking good. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. It looks really good so far. It's moving forward. Who's this by? This one's by Zes Studios. So this is going to be Doomsday versus Superman. And again, if you see any of the character models, STL files that you're looking for, you can just go to any one of these Patreon groups and find them. It is a membership fee. You do have to pay a membership monthly fee to access the files. But once you pay that membership fee, you have access to all the files on their page. So again, this is Doomsday. We'll scroll through this real quick. I don't think I have a ton of images. So this would basically be a diorama. And we have Doomsday basically beating down Superman, and Superman's trying to blast off his heat vision real quick, it looks like, before he gets pummeled even more into the ground. So let me zoom into this a little bit without getting too blurry. So really cool concept and really cool design of Doomsday. I'm a big fan of this one. I've seen a lot of Doomsday statues, but this one's, I think, definitely one of my favorites. Look from the side angle here. So again, looks really good. And then you have Superman with the laser eye, heat vision, trying to fight back as he's already plummeted into the ground. Got some letters on the base. I'm not sure what that says as of right now, but basically you got the rock rubble on the base. Try to zoom into this one. But yeah, it's a really cool action pose, really cool diorama. I'm really a big fan of this one. I think this might be a work in progress. Or maybe it is. Actually, no, I think it is finished. They just didn't upload too many photos of it. So sorry, this is the best photos I have of this, but it looks really good. So I'm excited to see if anybody prints this because it looks really cool. So again, you got Doomsday beating down on Superman. Everything's looking great. Moving forward. Oh, here's another shot of him from behind. So it looks really great. I love the texture and the pants. I love the colors of the render by itself. Definitely stick to this color scheme if painting him. Looks really great. He's got that elephant textured skin, so everything's looking really cool. Nice job by Zes Studios. Here's another shot from him. This picture's a little bit better, so let's see if we can zoom in a little bit closer. So really cool action pose, and I like the fierceness in his face, the expression. Looks great with all the bone spikes coming out of the skin. They did a fantastic job with the sculpt on this one. All right, this one is also by Zes. This is going to be Beta, what's his name? Beta Ray, right? Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, Beta Ray Bill says it right there. Again, by Zes Studios. So if you're interested in this one, go check them out on Patreon. I'm a really big fan of this one. I'm not like a huge fan of the character. I don't really follow Thor. I am familiar with the character though, and I've seen a few statues of him made in the past. And I think this is one of the better ones I've ever seen. I believe XM Studios made one. I would say I kind of like this better than the one XM Studios did. That was a licensed piece from a company. So really great sculpt on the face, really great textures on the skin, the mouth. Everything looks very realistic, but at the same time comic book accurate. So really cool looking. So let's move forward on this one. Here he is from the side. Scroll into this a little bit. I should say zoom into this a little bit. So really nice job with the fur around the shoulders, all the metal plating, the skin tones, the veins, the Kevlar design, if you want to call it that. There's all different textures within the suit. Everything looks fantastic. Love the metallic boots and all the armor. You got the hammer. Does that say? Yeah, it says Thor on the hammer. Not sure what the rest of it says. I can't read it upside down. So let's move forward. Here he is again from the front. Somewhat of a side profile, like an off angle. Looks really cool. I like this angle from where you kind of like down below and he's up high. So if you were displaying this, I think it looks cool. Kind of like up higher. You can have this one up higher on the shelf. I think it looks really great. I just noticed he's stepping on Thor's head on the base. It's like a broken statue, you know, like a monument statue of Thor, looks like, on the base there of his head. So that's pretty cool. And again, it says Thor on the hammer. So really cool concept, really great sculpt. Here he is from the side. Love the weapon in his hand up top with the it's like a translucent effect, so I would definitely print that out, like some type of translucent resin. So you get that same colored blue effect off of it with the lightning. Looks really great. So really cool piece. And again, this one was by Zes. Here he is from behind. Really nice textures in the cape. It's probably one of the best capes I've seen as far as textures. I love the flow of it. So I'm really excited about this one. I think this came out really awesome. It's probably one of my favorites. There's actually a lot of good models this month, but this is definitely one of my favorites. But we'll scroll through everything. Here he is again from like kind of like up high. If you had him displayed up higher on the shelf, I think this is a very good angle for him. Kind of see like the full expression on his face and everything. So it's definitely how I would display him, a little bit higher up in the air. Moving forward, this one is going to be from God of War, and this is Ares, also by Zes. I don't know if I have a ton of photos of this one. Zes doesn't usually put out a ton of different photos. It's usually just colored renders, but looks absolutely fantastic. Again, you have that like, again, these are colored renders, but they show off with like a translucent resin going around his face for that fire effect, which looks really great. The armor looks absolutely insane. If you could pull off this type of paint work, this would look absolutely amazing painted like this. But again, this is just a colored digital render. Someone didn't actually paint this. But yeah, it looks really cool. There's a lot going on with it, with the details. So let's scroll through this a little bit. I think I just have a few photos of him. So he's got that giant blade in his hand. Really cool looking. And again, this is from God of War. So again, Zes Studios on Patreon, if you're interested in this one. Got like the little Omega symbol on the base there with the lava effect. Let me zoom into this real quick. So that looks great. I love the fire, the way the fire was sculpted. That giant blade handle, you know, the blade that's coming down, looks like it has a skull. Different characters sculpted within it. So that's really creepy and cool looking at the same time. I don't know if you can see it like right in the middle there. Oh, sorry, I just lost the picture. But right in the middle, there was like some type of skull sculpted within the fire of the blade. So here it is from behind, off to the side. Let's zoom in on this. I see another element here. He's got like some type of howling wolf head shooting out of the these like spider tentacle arms coming off of him. So really cool concept and design of this character. All right, moving forward. Here he is. Let's take a look at that portrait. See if I can get it a little bit tighter so you can get a better look at his face. So the face sculpt looks really cool. He's got like a kind of like a pissed off, determined look on his face. So really interesting. Again, on that shoulder blade, you got more like these howling dogs or some type of animal element all off onto the shoulder blade there. Sorry, I don't know too much about the character, at least from God of War, I don't. Zes, this was now a work in progress, I believe. So this is Sonia. Trying to think. Yeah, Sonia. They're still doing this, still at least working on this. This was just a quick photo. It's a work in progress. She's definitely on the thicker side. So if you like your females on the thicker side, this is definitely a model for you. It's a interesting sculpt. I think she's looking good though so far. So I'll zoom in on this real quick, but just keep in mind it is a work in progress. She's got a little bit of a softer look on the face. Again, very thick thighs, thickly sculpted, but it looks really good. Really cool elements on the base. You got like a skull hidden off to the side there. And then I have a shot of her from behind. So again, she's a little bit on the thicker side. She's not like very, you know, thin and skinny and musculature like she's usually portrayed. So it's a little bit of a different take on her. But the hair looks really great. I like the way the hair is like intertwined. Kind of looks like it's almost braided together, and it's kind of like flowing around the axe in her hand. So that looks really good. Give you a little zoom down look here as we scroll. So everything's looking good. So again, we'll pay attention to this next month. Come back next month. We'll take a look at more photos of this. Also by Zes. Yeah, this one is ready as of today. This is, I believe, Green Goblin, or it might be Hobgoblin. I always confuse the two. One of the goblins from Spider-Man. This one looks absolutely fantastic. Again, it's just colored renders, but love the way this looks. Love the way it's sculpted. Looks super creepy with the expression and the way the face was sculpted. So really nice job. Love all the different textures. I love the way they did the pumpkin bombs. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. Love all the different scales on his arms there for the armor. Here's kind of a up close look at that pumpkin bomb. It's got like a, you know, like a high-tech look to it. So really nice work. So let's zoom through these real quick. Should I say scroll? I don't know why I keep saying zoom. Kind of reminds me a little bit of what Sideshow Collectibles did back in the day, where he's on the glider. But yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. I like that it doesn't have a ton of smoke. So like when Sideshow Collectibles did this, they had a lot of smoke coming off of the base. This one's a little bit more simple. It just has a little bit of smoke coming off of the glider. So I really like that. I do like the pose. I think they pulled it off to where, you know, he's twisted. So that sometimes can look unnatural. I think they pulled it off perfectly. I think he still looks good without them kind of losing the way the natural, you know, the body would turn like that. So it looks good. I like like I said, the pumpkin bombs look really great. Here it is from a side profile. So again, he's throwing off the pumpkin bombs. He's got the Spider-Man mask in his backpack there, or his bag, I should say. Again, he's got the glider. The glider looks like it has a lot of nice details in it. And I do have a better look at that bag with Spider-Man's mask in it. So we'll get to that in a second. Here's another look at that glider. Let me zoom into this. So it looks pretty cool. Looks like they, you know, got a lot of nice details within the glider. Looks really futuristic. Not so much futuristic, but like very, you know, high tech. I like all the different, like, the lines and the sculpt within the metal. Looks really cool. Here he is from behind. So you get a little bit of look at that fire element. Pretty interesting the way they did the smoke with the fire. I haven't really seen it ever done like that before, but I think it looks good. Kind of made the explosion bubbles coming off of the flame a little bit smaller than what I'm used to seeing, but I think it works. I like it, actually. I definitely like the way it's painted. I would probably add a little bit more reds and oranges to it just to make it look a little bit more like fire coming out of the back. But as far as the base looks cool. You have the Daily Bugle down there with Spider-Man's face on it with the newspaper that says wanted, so that looks really good. You can see a little bit underneath the glider, so it does have like all of the fans under there, so they added a lot of details to the actual glider. Here's an up-close look at that Spider-Man mask within the bag. Looks pretty good. It's always hard doing like, you know, like cowls or masks when it's off of the character. It always looks a little thick to me and not realistic, but I think it's pretty good for what it is. You can see like the bag kind of has like a rip in it where the seams are busting open. So that was a nice little attention to detail. Looks like he has a heart on the bag that says Gwen. So that's interesting. Kind of like that little Easter egg right there. If you could see it off to this, it's going down sideways there. It says Gwen. So pretty cool. Here it is with more of like a gray background. This way we can see the focus more on the character. So again, looking really great. Yeah, I love the way that pumpkin bomb came out. Looks really cool. It would be cool to make that light up, do like a light up feature inside the pumpkin bomb with the smoke. I think that would look really cool. So really great job by Zes Studios. If you're interested in this one, go check them out on Patreon. Here's another look at that glider. I think these photos are a little bit clearer, so I'm just going to zoom in really quick, even though we went over it already. Yeah, I really like the way that glider came out. All right, so this is going to be moving on to a different group. This is Epic Prop. This is Scorpion. They've been working on Scorpion for a while, trying to get him, you know, perfect for everybody. I believe they're done. We'll look through the photos, but here's a look at his face. So if you've been watching my, you know, what's new monthly installments, you'll know that I always feature Epic Prop. Epic Prop is always working on Spider-Man characters, specifically villains. They're really doing like almost every single Spider-Man villain from Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery. So if you want to collect like an entire line of Spider-Man characters, definitely go check out Epic Prop, because they're literally like doing every single character from the universe. So again, this is going to be Scorpion. Looks really cool. The renders are a little bit dark with the shading, so he's pretty simplistic as far as what's going on with the sculpt, but he looks good. I really like the base. It looks like maybe he's standing on a bank vault door that was busted open. I believe that's what it is. I don't have a ton of photos because the bags off to the side almost look like money bags to me, so I'm assuming this is a bank door that was busted open. Let's see if I have another look of it from behind here. So he's pretty simple in terms of design. Again, I don't know. I think he's done. I don't know if it's still a work in progress. I believe he's done the last time I was over on their group. But nonetheless, he looks pretty cool. Again, they're also working on other characters. This was Hydro Man. This one, it almost looks like a bust, but it's actually just him coming out of the water. So you only have, you know, a torso from his waist up, and then the rest of the bottom is just that wave of water coming off of it. And he's got that huge hand making a punch. So we'll take, I only have a few photos of this guy, but we'll take a look at him. Here's an up-close look at the clay renders. Looks pretty good. I like the expression on his face. The textures look pretty good. Here's a better look. So this is actually the whole entire statue. So it's just him on that wave of water, you know, as the base, with the fire hydrant shooting off to the side, and he's just, you know, shooting up like a water, and then is transforming into you know, his human fist. So I believe they actually also have this next to the Sandman they worked on, which gives us a good look at the overall scale, because he is a little bit on the smaller side, being that you don't have like legs or anything like that. It's just the water on the bottom. So let me take a look. Here it is. Yeah, so here he is next to Sandman. So I've seen this Sandman a few times now. Printed, looks absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite pieces that Epic Prop has done. But as you can see, like, so with Sandman's a very big statue, especially when it's printed. So I think, you know, if you're, I like the way these pair off, because Sandman's so tall, you can kind of fit like Hydro Man next to him, kind of like almost like the same way they have it, like right under his like sand mallet that he's making there. So I'm not sure how well it would display with other pieces, being he's a little bit on the smaller side. You know what it is? The fist is so large that the fist is going to take up a lot of space. So I think what they did was kind of keep the character a little bit on the smaller side, and the wave of the base a little bit on the smaller side. This way, you know, they make room for that large fist that's coming off into the air. I don't know, but maybe they could have made the base a little bit taller. But either way, it looks really cool. So if you're a fan of Hydro Man, you got that character. They're also working, or I believe this is finished. This is Spider-Gwen. Pretty simplistic. I believe they said they wanted to keep it simple and fun. That was their exact word. So little simple take on Spider-Gwen. Looks really great. Again, these when they do like renders, they're very dark within the background, so it's kind of hard to see everything. Looks like she's on some type of maybe like chimney. See some type of brickwork down there. So pretty interesting. Again, this is going to be Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Man universe. Gwen Stacy. All right, let's move forward. Oh, she comes with an unmasked portrait. I think that looks pretty good. The actual hair strands look like they come to a little bit too close of a, I think they should be a little bit more pointed. Kind of looks like they kind of like just chopped off her hair at the end there. If you see what I'm talking about. So again, I don't know if this was still a work in progress, but I think they could have like maybe pointed the hair strands a little bit pointier where they come to an end. Because it looks like somebody just sliced through her hair. So that looks a little bit funny. If I was working on this, I would probably sand that down so it would look a little bit pointier, but it is what it is. The face looks good overall, so pretty cool. Is this still, yeah, this is still Spider-Gwen. So she has the Spider-Man logo on her backpack with the drumsticks from her rock band. So it looks pretty good. Nice little element to the base there with the backpack. Who was this by? I think this, let me scroll real quick because I forget who this was by. I want to say it was Epic Props, but I want to make sure I'm not getting it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This was by, so we're moving on to another group. This is by CA3D Studio, or I always call them just CAD Studio, but it's CA3D Studio. So if you're interested in this, they didn't really have too many things this month. They're kind of still working on a lot of Greek mythology characters. So I didn't really feature too many of them. Try to save time on the video. But I did like these Star Wars pieces. We have Darth Maul and Ahsoka Tano. So again, this is going to be a diorama, and this is by CAD or CA3D Studio. So if you're interested in this, you can go check it out on their Patreon. Kind of looks like other statues that I've already seen of these two fighting. So it's nothing really too new, but it's pretty cool that we have an option to actually 3D print it. So if you're interested in 3D printing a Star Wars piece like this, you can head on over to them, onto their Patreon group. Overall, I think it looks pretty cool. Got that animated series look to it. Scroll forward. Really cool with the base. Again, these are just color digital renders, so they're going to make it look as good as possible. So I kind of wish we had actual real clay renders, or at least, you know, printed renders that we could look at. Here's a look at his face. It looks really good. Again, I'd like to see this actually printed, because I don't really like to judge colored renders because they can, you know, enhance the photo to make it look better, but it looks fantastic from what I'm looking at. So hopefully it looks as good when you go to print it, right? So up close look at his face and an up close look at Ahsoka's face. So really cool by CA3D Studio. Moving on to Berserk or B3D Zerk Studio. This was Violator from Spawn. So really cool. I only grabbed, I think, like one photo of this. So kind of an obscure character, but that's what they do. They give you like all different, you know, characters that you normally wouldn't see from licensed companies. This way we can 3D print them at home. So looking at him, I like the design of this. I think the sculpt is absolutely fantastic. I don't really remember too much of him. I just know he's from the Spawn series. So have that cross off to the side with the chains, and he's like kind of lunging down, creeping off of the base. It's like a chimney with smoke. Might be a little bit of like a forced perspective base. Let me see. Let me zoom out because I don't think I have a lot of photos of this one. So just in case I don't have, let me see. Let me zoom scroll forward, I should say. Yeah, I don't have a lot. I just have the one photo of him. So here's a look at that. But if you want to see more, I believe there's more on their Patreon group that you can go look at. Again, this is by B3D Zerk, and you can go head over to them on their Patreon group. And like I always say in every video, you're going to notice that it says 1/6 scale and resin or FDM printing. So you can print it in resin, obviously, and obviously you can print it in FDM style if that's the printer that you have. The 1/6 just means it's pre-supported in 1/6. So if you go downloading the STL file, it will come pre-supported to where you can just take the file and print it out. You don't have to add supports to it. I always recommend checking it either way. This way you don't end up with a failed print on your printer and have to clean it up. But yeah, 1/6 scale just means it's pre-supported for 1/6 scale. You can print it in quarter scale, you can print it in 1/3 scale, you can print it in 1/2 scale. You can go, you know, as big or as small. Maybe not as small, because as you shrink, details get lost. But yeah, you can print this in different scales. So if you see it says 1/6, don't worry about it. Also, if you ever need anything printed, feel free to reach out to me. My commission list is open for anything that you need printing, or if you need help with printing anything, feel free to reach out to me. As far as painting, if you need anything painted, I'm a little bit busy with that. I'm backed up for a few months right now. But again, feel free to reach out to me if you want to get on my commission list. Anyway, back to the models. This is going to be King Shark from Suicide Squad. I just grabbed a few photos of him. Really nice design. It's kind of like a museum action pose. You know, pretty simple, but really great textures within the shark skin, and the textures within the pants. He's got like a dove off to the side. Really cool base with the water effect. I like that they kept it simple. Let's move forward. Here he is from the side. So again, you have those doves and the water effect, and then like some type of like rock sub base down on the bottom, different corals. Again, the textures within the actual shark skin look really fantastic. And I do like the overall look of him. This is one where he's looking up, so you can get away with displaying this a little bit lower. You definitely don't want to display this too high in the air because you're not going to see his face. So here's another look at that water effect from behind. Again, you got the doves. So really great job. This one again is by B3D Zerk. All right, so let's zoom into the face just real quick, and then we'll scroll forward through the photos. So again, looks really cool. I like the iridescent colors they added to the digital render. Another look of his face up close. So pretty cool. Teeth look pretty good. I know shark have a lot of teeth, so it might have been hard to add as many teeth as a shark really has, but looks pretty good overall. Moving forward, here's a look at his foot with the different textures and the veins running through the foot and the claws for the toenails. So that looks fantastic. You got the jeans all ripped open. So it looks really great. The stitching within the jeans, the belt with the leather texture, everything's looking really great. Even the dove looks really great with the way they did the feathers. Moving forward, another up close look at his face. So let's scroll forward since we've seen all this. Again, you have the coral on the bottom. All right, so the same way B3D Zerk and also Wicked do every month, they give you the option for a bust. So if you don't want to print the full figure, you can print the bust. Now the bust, however, does come pre-supported in 1/4 scale, meaning quarter scale, meaning he's a quarter the size of how he would be in real life. So I think the bust is really cool. I almost like the bust better than the full figure. I like the way he's lunging forward. I think you can see his face better. I like the water effect better on the base and all the coral. So I actually really like the bust more than I like the full figure, which is usually not the case. But in this case it is. I really like the way they sculpted this. Even like I think the face even looks better. He looks a little bit more aggressive looking. So really cool, but you have options. Whichever one you want to print, you can go and print. Also by Berserk or B3D Zerk, we have Batgirl. This one's considered a diorama because she's actually beating up a villain, thug, goon, whatever you want to call them, off onto the bottom of the base. I have a few photos of her. So they were working on this last month, but I didn't get to it because the pictures weren't ready yet. So overall, looks really cool. We have some batarangs stuck into the base. It's a Gotham City, architectural base, which I always love. I'm actually a huge Batman DC fan, so anytime I see Batman DC statues, I absolutely usually love them right away. The machine gun looks really great, the way it was sculpted. I'm not sure who this character is. I think it's just a random, thug that she's beating up. He's got like grenades on him for whatever reason. But yeah, she's just pretty much kicking him right in the face. I think it would have been cool to have an option without him. This way, if you didn't want like a diorama, you could just print Batgirl by herself. But let's scroll through this, take a look at the sculpt. Here she is from another angle. So you got this large cathedral building in the background. I think they did a really great job capturing the look of Gotham. Good sculpt within the portrait of the goon. So that looks really good. And overall, you got a really cool action pose with Batgirl. So let me see if I have any up-close photos of these two. I like the flow of the cape, how it's shooting off to the side. You got the hair flowing up to give it some movement. She's swinging around with the grappling gun there on the rope. So it looks really great. Moving forward here, we have a little bit of a up-close look here, so we get a better look at the sculpt and the textures. I think the face looks good overall. She has a little bit kind of like a bored look to her face, in my opinion. It doesn't look very aggressive as, you know, as you think it would be. If you're, you know, about to kick somebody in the head, I think you would have a little bit of more of expression in your face. She kind of seems very calm and doesn't really care that she's kicking the guy in the head. But that's the, you know, the expression they went with. But I do like the sculpt in the suit, and I like the design of the suit with the different piping, the lines running through the suit. That looks really fantastic. I really like the sculpt of the cape. Has a nice look to it. Got some nice details on the bottom of the boot with the treads. And if you look at the bottom there with the goon's face, again, I think they did a good job sculpting everything. So you can see a lot of time went into this one. Here's a look at her face. So again, she looks a little, I mean, the face looks good, but she just seems a little underwhelmed about what's going on. But looks good overall as far as like the sculpt goes. I just wish they had a different expression. Again, the same thing. She has an unmasked portrait, but again, the face just kind of seems a little like she's bored. Like she's just not happy to be Batgirl. I don't know. But it is what it is. You know what it is? Sometimes we get these sculpts where they have like these angry looking faces and people are like, oh, she doesn't look pretty. So maybe that's what they felt like. If they made her look a little angry, then people were going to complain she didn't look pretty. So you can't have it. You know, you can never win. No matter what you do, somebody's going to complain about something. But overall, I think she looks good. And we just zoomed in way too far. But since we're here, here's a really up close look at her face. Moving forward, again, they always give you the option for a bust. I really like the bust. I like the way the cape is shooting off to the side. I really love the way they sculpted the cape in general. So this one has a little bit of like a background element to it. You got that moon with the clouds. So if you don't want to print the full figure, you have an option to print just the bust. So it looks really great. And again, by B3D Zerk. So there it is, just the bust with you got the lights on the bottom shooting up. So really good job with the bust as well. So if you're interested in this, you can head on over to B3D Zerk on their Patreon group. And that's about, I think, let's see, did I do Wicked? So they also teased the Nightfall Batman. So again, stay tuned to next month's What's New. Stay subscribed because we'll take a look at Nightfall Batman. I'm really excited to see what they do with this because this looks absolutely fantastic as far as like the art renders go. So I'm really excited to see when they show the clay renders and the colored renders. So it looks really cool. This is Nightfall Batman. I like that we're getting more Batman characters from the universe of DC. So again, Nightfall Batman. This one was Phantom, again by B3D Zerk. He's got the wolf off onto the bottom. Again, these are just examples. They're showing you what's coming. So again, stay tuned to the channel. Stay subscribed to the channel, and I'll feature these next month. Moving forward, this is Spawn. Who is this by? This might have been by, let's see. Let me scroll forward real quick. Oh yeah, okay. So we're still in B3D Zerk. Sorry. Sometimes I forget who did what. This is absolutely fantastic. So now I believe the first few images were a little bit blurry, but then they get better. That's just how they were presented to me. So I apologize if they look a little bit blurry, but they do get better as I scroll through them. You'll see the quality does improve. So I'm actually going to just quickly go through the first few because I remember that the quality does get better. So let's just scroll through this. But basically, it's a Spawn statue. Absolutely crazy looking, as most Spawn statues are. Like that, the way the cape is just shooting off to the side is just awesome and crazy at the same time. Looks absolutely fantastic. I'll zoom in a little bit, but again, these are going to be a little bit blurry. They get better in the next few photos. So we'll do a quick zoom and then a quick scroll to the next one until they get better. Really love the texture in the cape though, and I really like the overall design of this, the concept. Just a look at the chains. Got the clown head, I believe. I forget the character's name. Some type of clown character in his hand. So really cool concept. Spikes everywhere. Might be one of my favorite Spawn statues. You get a ton of different portraits, which we'll take a look at in a second. So let me start to zoom in, see if these get any better. Love the texture within the, you know, the cape and the way it's shooting up off of his neck. Looks absolutely fantastic. The way they sculpted the skin. He's very slim looking. He's on more of like the leaner side of Spawn. He's not too muscular. We kept him more a little bit of on, you know, the thinner side, but he looks absolutely fantastic. All right, here's some better up close shots of the quality. So I really love the sculpt of this portrait, and they give you multiple options for different portraits, which we're going to take a look at. But you can see just how amazing the sculpt came out with the textures on that cape there, as well as on his face. I would love to paint one of these. I've never painted a Spawn, so if anybody's interested in getting one of these painted, reach out to me. I would love to paint this character. Different skulls down there. Here's a look at another portrait. Super creepy looking. I think I still like the first portrait better, but I like that they give you different options. So it looks absolutely fantastic. Here's another option, more like a burn look. Again, absolutely fantastic. So I like that they give you a lot of different options for the portrait. I believe that's the only switch outs that you do get is just a portrait, but I could be wrong. So definitely head on over to B3D Zerk if you're interested in this one. Let's take a look at that cape now, since it's a better photo, at least a little bit of a better photo. So really great sculpt within the weapon there. You got the skull on top, all the different intricate lines sculpted into the blade. The texture within the cape, it's kind of got like this vein work going through the cape as well, making it look really like dark and creepy looking. So super cool looking. You got the tombstone on the bottom, on top of a rock rubble base, and then the skulls wrapped around with the chains on the bottom. So really cool concept. Here's another look at that cape. Zoom into that. Look at the texture and sculpt on that. That looks absolutely fantastic. Again, you can kind of see it kind of has like veins, almost like a bat, which looks really cool. So I like that they did that. It looks really creepy. Here he is. I think I like this portrait the best. So we get a little bit better quality of the actual skin textures here, and the chain looks absolutely fantastic. I would imagine sculpting a chain like that isn't so easy. I would imagine it will also be pretty fragile and tough to print, but I've done it before. I remember I had to print a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Michelangelo statue, and I was having such a hard time painting the chains on his nunchucks. It was a smaller piece though. It was a 1/6 scale that I actually just ended up using real chain, real metal for the nunchucks. But these chain links look like they're a little bit thicker, which is good. So hopefully they don't break during printing. There's definitely a lot of them. Another look at him from another angle. So again, looks absolutely fantastic with the sculpt. B3D Zerk always does a great job. Here he is again. So I'm just going to zoom through these since we have a lot of photos of him. There's another look at that other portrait. Another look up close of the chest. Looks absolutely fantastic. Here's another look at those chains. Even the chains have like texture in them, if you could see that. So it's really cool looking. Really love it. Nice like weathered look to the chains, like they're rusted. Here's a look at that head he's holding. So really fun, really gruesome and cool looking at the same time. I like what they did here. And here's another look at that base. Got the Spawn logo on the bottom. You got all these different creatures on the bottom. Looks crazy. Give you a little look at those guys down there. So you got different little creatures and characters coming off of the base. So really crazy looking. Here it is again. Get a better look at those characters there. All right, let's move forward. All right, so here we're moving on to Wicked. I believe Wicked was the last one that we're going to take a look at. This is Doctor Strange from the Multiverse, obviously Marvel. So really cool, great movie. I was a huge fan of this movie. So we have the Multiverse Doctor Strange with Scarlet Witch. I think they did a really great job with Strange and the way he looks creepy. Scarlet Witch, I think they did a really good job at her. I think it looks pretty close to her likeness. Let's see. This piece is absolutely massive, by the way. We're going to get to it in a minute, but let me just show you up close real quick while we're here. Absolutely crazy. They must have spent a lot of time sculpting this because there is a lot going on with this piece. I mean, look at all the details within Wanda's suit. and just everything going on in the background. So let's just take a zoom back look. Let me show you the whole thing. Just take a look at this thing. This thing is crazy. Holy cow. And they show you all different angles. This thing is going to take up so much space. It is massive. It's just a giant circle going around the bottom for the base, and it's just a massive piece. I mean, this is like a centerpiece for a collection. If you ever wanted, like, you know, if you're a Marvel guy and you want a huge centerpiece, this is it right here. So let's just zoom into this real quick. Again, it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You do get the logo on the bottom there. You have all the wax melting off of the candles on the base. You know, his sorcerer book, different spells that he casts, hands coming up off of the base. You got Wanda there, and then it just goes into you know, that version of Doctor Strange, and just these massive wings coming off of him. You know, it's just super creepy looking. The textures on them are actually, I mean, absolutely fantastic looking. There's like skulls within it, like hidden within there. So it's just, there's a lot going on with this. So let's just keep scrolling through. Here it is again. Really cool looking. Different creatures there. All different skulls and demons. Skulls of demons, I should say. I think they did pretty good with Wanda's face. Here's a look at Doctor Strange's face. I mean, obviously, it's going to be easier to sculpt something that looks more monstrous. You know, we don't have Cumberbatch's, you know, actual portrait. It's all zombified. So let's take a look at, I don't know if I have any up-close shots of Wanda's face, but it looks pretty good. I can tell who it is. But nonetheless, this is a really cool piece. So here it is from behind. You just have that massive circle. Kind of looks like, I think, like what is probably like the window from inside the his place there. Kind of what it reminds me of. Not a huge die-hard Marvel guy, but I believe that's what it is. It looks like it. But yeah, it's definitely got to be from his place, because it looks like the glass is broken. Yeah. Okay, let's move forward. Here it is from an aerial shot. So this is it if you were looking down at it. They're showing you that this is just a massive, giant circle of a base. So this is definitely going to take up a lot of room. Not only are the two characters taking up a lot of room, but then you have the back of the base taking up another almost half section of what the front takes up. So big, massive piece. But here it is from up above. You can see Wanda in the front there. Doctor Strange. Then you're going to have that huge circular window, and then it goes off into the back of the base with the sorcery book. And there's just a lot going on with this thing. Moving forward, if you didn't want to print that, because that's very ballsy, whoever prints that, because it's big and very intricate. I can imagine it's going to take a lot to even just get it printed. You have the option for the bust. So the bust is very cool. In my opinion, it might be better off. I think there was a little too much. Like I said, that last piece was like a centerpiece. That's going to take up so much space in the collection. So really cool bust. If you didn't want to print that other massive piece, you get all the cool things that were on the other one, on this one as well, minus, like, you know, the big wings coming off of him. But it looks really good. I like the sculpt of his face. All the little details looks good. Moving forward, here's a look at Wanda. So on this one, Wanda has her, you know, her eyes closed. She looks very pretty. Kind of like the, you know, I like the softness of her face. I think it looks really good. The details within the, you know, the magical balls in her hand look really good. A lot of nice details in there. The suit looks absolutely fantastic. The way they did that design coming off of her chest there looks really fantastic. And yeah, everything about this just looks really great. Really great job by Wicked. So if you're interested in this, there it is right there, Wicked. Head on over to Wicked on Patreon. All right, also by Wicked, this is going to be Namor. So Wicked always does a lot of models. So we're going to go through these quick. They did a Namor. So this looks absolutely fantastic. This was like the teaser with the logo. We'll scroll through these pretty quickly. I think they did a great job at the water base. You know, they didn't make it too big. It looks like it's not going to take up too much space, but you still have a lot of cool elements with the shark and the octopus and all the different coral. Namor himself looks really great with the sculpt. They might have went a little bit too heavy on the texture. If you watch my videos, you remember I said that about their Rocky piece, and I saw that piece printed a few times now, the Rocky and Apollo, and I still will say it. The texture looks a little bit overdone. It might be the case on this one too. So let's zoom through this. But overall, I like the concept. I like the pose. And yeah, I think it's really cool. We're going to go quick on this one because I don't want to make these videos too long. We're almost into an hour here. All right, so the muscles, the musculature on the body looks absolutely fantastic, the way they sculpted it. You know, Wicked always does a great job at sculpting characters. Their design work is top notch whenever it comes to sculpting. But you know, every once in a while I got to question some of their decisions. The base looks absolutely fantastic with the water. The face looks pretty good. I like the, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I like that they did the chain kind of floating up. The hair is floating up too, so it gives it movement to make him look like he's underwater. So smart decision to do that. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Overall, I like the expression on the face. Maybe a different swap out would have been cool. But overall, I like it. Here's a look at that shark. So this one, you definitely get a lot of shark teeth, unlike that other king shark model. This looks definitely more accurate for a shark. He has, you know, sharks have a lot of teeth. So this looks a little bit more, you know, realistic or anatomically correct, I should say. Anatomically correct, whatever that word is that I'm butchering right now. Let me see if I can get into those textures on the skin, because not that the textures are bad, just sometimes they make them a little bit too deep looking, that they stick out too much. You know, skin pores are supposed to be, you know, not so visible. You should only see them when you're like super up close. And, you know, every once in a while they just make the textures of their models a little bit too much. But you also got to keep in mind, once you prime and paint, you lose a little bit of detail on the surface. So that's another way to kind of fix that. If the textures were a little bit too deep, you can just prime this with some filler primer, just to fill it in a little bit, because I have a feeling, again, I'm going by the renders, I have a feeling the textures are going to be a little bit too deep on this one. It reminds me a lot of the Rocky versus Apollo model that they did. But overall, I'm a really big fan of this piece. I really like the hair. The hair is nicely, finely detailed, and I like the movement and the flow of the piece. The portrait here looks great. I love the sculpt of it. Yeah, I do like the portrait. It was just throwing me off the way they did the, you know, sometimes the clay renders look kind of weird, the way the eyes are. But yeah, I like the portrait actually, so I'll take that back. The portrait looks good. So if you didn't want the option for the base, I don't think the base was that big to begin with, but they give you another option for a second base that I guess is a little bit smaller. You know, not so much with the, you know, the shark and the octopus and the water elements. So if you wanted something a little bit more simple, I guess maybe if he's on land, yeah, this would represent if he was on land. So that's a cool option. So you have a water base and then a land base. So cool option for that. Moving forward, this was Havoc, also by Wicked. So this one is just a teaser, I think. Well, actually, no, this is, trying to think. So many models this month. I think this one is finished. So this looks absolutely fantastic. This, again, was one of my favorite for this month's releases. I really like the way this came out. So we'll just scroll through this real quick. Again, keep the video rolling. You got like a danger room base with the saws and blades. The X-Men logo matches up with, you know, all of their other X-Men pieces. I'm working on a Beast right now. Definitely stay tuned to those videos. I put out already a few videos. How to add magnets, how to fill gaps and seams. I'm working on their Beast model right now, and he has pretty much the same sub base down there with the building, like, you know, the danger room. Not so much the tentacles, but with the danger room and the X-Men logo. Sorry. But yeah, he looks really cool. I really like the way the sculpt came out on this one. So I'll just zoom in. I like the expression on his face. The details within the textures look absolutely fantastic. I like the power effect. So really nice design. Here he is from behind. So quickly look at that. The hair strands look really nicely detailed. I like the actual design of the suit. The leather on the pants look absolutely fantastic. You got little nice elements within the boot with the X-Men logo there. So you got all very highly detailed statue here. If you were interested in printing this, head on over to Wicked. Again, the mechanical arms coming off, you know, the robot tentacles look absolutely fantastic. Really like the way they sculpted those. Looks really cool looking. It's got actually even more like cables and tentacles inside of the actual outer tentacle. So really great job with the details on this one. They went really all out on this one. So, you know, thumbs up to whoever sculpted this one over on their team. Came out really fantastic. Here's a look at that up-close shot of the portrait. Really nice, strong, you know, fierce, angry, determined look to him. Got that quilted pattern on the inside, and then, you know, all the different textures going on. Looks great. Here he is from the side. Looks great. All right, so if you didn't, like I said, they always give you the option for a bust. If you didn't want to do the full figure, you have Namor on a bust, and then you have Havoc on a bust. Kind of like a shrunken down version of their bases. So you got like that octopus base, and then you have that danger room base for Havoc. So if you're interested in those, again, check on head on over to Wicked. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to leave you with is Wicked left us with a teaser. They're working on a Guardians of the Galaxy model. This is going to be a diorama with Star-Lord and Gamora. Seen a few teasers of this. It's looking really good. So I'm going to leave you off on a cliffhanger teaser like the way they did to us over on their Patreon group. So if you want to see more of this and more of what I showed you previously and a lot more characters for next month, stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, hit that like button. Let me know what characters were your favorite this month down below in the comments. Personally, I really liked the Havoc. I really liked, who else did I like? Havoc was one of them. The Beta Ray Bill, I really like the losing my voice, I've been talking too long, sorry. I really like the Beta Ray Bill and the Havoc. That was two of my favorites, I think, for this month. But yeah, let me know down below which were your favorites. And as always, thanks for tuning in today. Tons of projects are in the works, so check out my other videos, and I'll see you in the next project. Take care.